Abdul Man'am, I hate coffee because it makes me sleep. Are you serious? My goodness. It makes you sleepy. Like, I know there's one. Okay, so you can drink it and sleep. Sure. But drink it and then become sleepy? Really? Wow. That's a superpower, Abdul Man'am. This is a superpower. Wafat considers coffee as her friend. That is adorable. That is so cute. Muhammad drinks his French coffee with little sugar. Okay. Like a pinch of sugar? Just a spit. Dua, yes, there is. Dua Hassan also needs help with her audio. You guys can hear me, right? Hanan, Turkish coffee with dark chocolate. Hanan, do you mean like, do you incorporate it into the recipe? Like, so after you're done making the cup of coffee, you add in a piece of chocolate? Or do you mean like on the side, like you drink it and take a bite? Wafat, that is so cute. So Wafat says she sits to drink her coffee when she's sad and it understands her. Coffee is your friend. It is your family. Wafat, I totally understand that. I felt that in my heart. NG, without coffee, I can't open my eyes. I think same. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, there are times where it makes me wake up, but there are other times when I don't know. I was like, okay, thank you so much for the coffee. Good night. It's not consistent. You know, it's not stable. Wafat, it's a love story. Okay, Wafat, now I'm starting to be a little bit worried about you. A love story with coffee is too much. Now I'm worried. Dua, can you hear me now? Where is she? I can't find her name. Dua Hassan. Yeah, she's not she hasn't connected her audio. I'm sorry, Mahoga, can you help her out? Dua Hassan Salim. She can't hear me. Your Hanan, black coffee without sugar? Hmm. Wow. Okay. That's kind of like a morning shot. Do you guys know the immune booster? Have you heard of this? Something called the immune booster. It's not coffee, okay? Just so we're clear, it's not coffee. But there is something called an immune booster that a lot of people have been taking over the years. This is what it's called, immune booster. And it's for your immune system, right? And so what they do, it's usually like ginger. It's like a ginger and lemon shot, and it's like this much, and you take it first thing in the morning. You take it and then you drink it, and it's supposed to help your immune system fight off diseases, illnesses, strengthen your abilities to like survive. um and so Hanan reminds me like the espresso or the coffee that she drinks that's black with no sugar. That's like an immune booster. It's like this is an immune booster against sleeping. No sleep. Let's just take that. Shaymat, good morning. Are you the Shaymat Gamal that I know that I used to give a hard time to? NG, strong coffee with foam milk without sugar with a piece of chocolate. Very specific. I love it. Very specific. Hey, Nada's like, I like this coffee talk session. This is just our warm up so that we can start getting comfortable with each other. Like, I didn't know this, but did you guys know that being a barista actually takes a lot of detail? Like, they even count drops. We're talking about like little tiny drops are taken into account regarding making the cup of coffee. It's insane. Muhammad, coffee with lemon is good for immune system. I have never heard that before. Is this true? Did you guys know this? Coffee and lemon? It's good for your immune system? No way. Well, nice to meet you, Shaymet. Happy you're here. And it makes me feel bitterness and lost my control. You mean like anger? Abdul Manam, it makes you angry? Okay, Muhammad, give me the name of the doctor that told you that it's a thing. I need to know. For real? There's a real doctor that said this? Hmm. Welcome aboard, Shayma. Abdul Manam said yes. Really? It makes you angry. Hmm. I don't know. I feel like if I don't have my coffee, I get angry. You know? So if, for example, um, I am having not a bad day, but if I just woke up, I feel like it's I can't become a human yet. I need time to understand where I am, who you are, and then take a cup of coffee. And this allows me and gives me energy to deal with people, you know? Shame, guess what? I only loved coffee while what? All right, you're not supposed to drink coffee when you're pregnant, right? Isn't this a thing? I thought it's bad for the baby to have a lot of caffeine and smoke and things like that. I was like, coffee, no, no, drink it. Oh, interesting. So it's okay to have a little bit. Oh, that's cool. Nice. All right, cool. So you only started liking it during your pregnancy. That's interesting. Your baby's going to be an amazing deep thinker. Best face to place to improve my pronunciation. Oh, that's a very low. That's a low blow, Mr. iPhone Pro Max person. Please change your name to a name, please. To be in a universal school. All right, Mr. Zoom user, I need a name also to be a universal school. Universal meaning what? Universal mean in this universe? The universe of our galaxy? Marwa, yeah, I'm not a morning person and I'm not a night person. Walid Fathi needs help with his audio, please. It's not good for your heart. Boost your immune. Nice, nice. I get mad at my son if coffee finished because he also drink really with it. Okay. I don't share your coffee. Got you. Abdul Sayed needs help with his audio as well, please. Wafat hides her coffee from her son. That's me as a mom. Well done. I'm proud of you. Really. With your abdomen, you mean your cup of tea and milk, right? I think coffee is not good for females in general, but it's good for males because it makes the females put up with the males. You see? You see where that is? Also, have you heard of that expression before? Put up with. Put up with. Did you guys hear that before? Put up with something, to put up with someone. Any idea what it means? Guess, Marwa. Guess. So right now I said that coffee is good because it helps women put up with men. Also, Muhammad, like a general piece of advice, don't call women female unless you were talking about like maybe you come from an academic background, maybe that's why. But if I say male and female, it usually is focus is too like gender focused and it's not really I don't want to say neat, but it's not very nice. It makes it very dehumanizing, right? To deal with or cope with. Very good, Reda, yes. Put up with, it's not that it's a problem, but it is to be able to handle, right? So to deal with, to cope with. Nice. I say in same mode with. In same mode with. Mode meaning like the model or like mood, and you accidentally misspelled that. They're spelled differently. All right, so put up with just like mood, in the same mood. No, it's got nothing to do with mood. It's kind of like what Reda said. To put up with someone means that you cope with their behavior, or you deal or you handle their behavior. That's put up with. So, for example, I don't want to be a kindergarten teacher because I don't want to put up with the kids' spoiled behavior, for example. And killing babies is wrong. All right. Take care, Reda. Thank you so much for dropping by, my dear. All right. So I think enough people are here by now. I do believe we should get going. It was lovely starting this coffee conversation with you all. Thank you so much. Now let's get into it, shall we? A lot of people are wondering about the whole idea about fluency and about their language and how to be more confident about speaking and so on and so forth. Now, there are a lot of aspects to it, right? And no, Muhammad, don't make me go back to coffee. Where were we? So there are many aspects to it about the whole language and being able to be more confident with your language. But the main aspect that will help you a lot would probably be for you to push yourself. This is going to be the biggest thing. Now, when it comes to being confident, usually this is not language related as much as it is personality related. Meaning, though this is something that happens with everybody, so you're not alone. Everybody goes through this. Everybody who's learning the language for the first time, or it's a second language for them, or a third language even. This part of confidence is the biggest factor. And unfortunately, it's got a negative return, meaning that when you are not confident, or when you are showing the other person that you're not confident, automatically it translates into your language and you make mistakes. So, though saying fake it till you make it is not always accurate. Have you guys heard of this expression before? Fake it till you make it. Have you heard it? Hello? Guys? Yeah, good. So, fake it till you make it basically means that you pretend, even if it's not real. You pretend. So, you don't show exactly how it is that you are feeling exactly. And eventually, when you do this behavior, when you apply this behavior or this mentality or this way of thinking multiple times, it becomes kind of like embedded in your mind and in your acts. So, if I decide that, you know what, I'm going to be very happy today, right? I might not be very happy, and it's not healthy to fake it, right? But at least for a short period of time, I will be able to live outside of the sad part for a little bit. And though this is not a solution, this is not a long-term solution, it is a solution for short-term problems, like, for example, an interview. If I have a very important interview that I need to get to, that I need to work on, or I need to pass, or make or leave a very good impression, this would probably be the best way to do it. And you can also apply this with language itself. So whenever I'm talking to someone, I'm going to pretend that I am confident. I'm going to pretend that, you know what? I am the best English language speaker that existed on the face of the earth, right? They don't need to know that you're not. And you don't need to remember that you're not for now. For the next 30 minutes or for the next hour, your language is amazing. You have the best pronunciation on the face of the earth, and you're going to walk the walk. Now, with interviews, and specifically when they're looking for language, they're not looking for, like, obviously they're looking for accuracy, right? Especially if you're applying for a teaching position. But their priorities probably would be number one, your attitude and your communication skills, followed by the other aspects of the language, right? That include accuracy and your pronunciation, by the way. Right now, or these days, especially in the teaching field, they're looking mostly for people with rich language that are able to communicate. And this should be your goal. Your goal should be, okay, I want to deliver the following message to these humans. I want them to understand what I am saying, right? If I focus on making sure that what I'm saying is understandable, meaning I understand it, it should be fine. But if I don't understand it, it will never be understandable. Make sense? So if I am thinking in Arabic first and I get lost finding the English word or trying to put it into an English sentence, I am losing this message that I want to deliver. So it will not be delivered. Make sense? Are you guys with me? Hello? Yes, good. Good, good, good. All right. So let's move on to a couple of tips that I've got for you guys regarding fluency in particular, because usually this is like, oh my goodness, the amount of questions I get regarding the fluency. Oh my goodness. Ahmed, how to pronounce correctly? You need to record yourself. How to pronounce correctly? All right. This is I'm pretty sure that everybody who are my students, you guys have heard me say this before, but the only way to improve pronunciation, Ahmed, is for you to actually speak. But you need to push yourself a little bit and your mouth needs to open correctly. So as long as you are actually not saying it the same way you hear it, you are never going to improve your pronunciation. It requires a little bit of courage, not confidence, courage. Courage means not to be scared because it is a very scary thing to sound fake or to sound different from what you are used to. So, the best way to pronounce words would be for you to know how to pronounce clusters, like little groups of sounds. Vowels are very important and probably the hardest thing to develop. And syllables. Syllables means like groups, right? And so if you're able to know how to say these things, your pronunciation should come out correctly. Now, how do you do it? How do you do it? You watch something, you put pause, and you shadow. Shadow means I copy it. So, for example, you heard Aya say, you copy it. Copy it, right? You're going to say it like Aya, copy it, copy it. But you're not going to say, copy it, copy it. Copy it does not sound like copy it. Make sense? So when I repeat, and then I repeat out loud, don't just listen. You have to say it yourself. Multiple times. The same exact way that you heard it. You start building this muscle memory that we want. For you to say, this is open. And P is pronounced with a lot of air. Got it? Nisriya, I can read, but I haven't fluent English. Fluency is a package deal. So, do you mean like speaking? You aren't speaking? You aren't a fluent speaker? That's normal. Because reading is not going to improve your speaking. Speaking, you gotta listen and speak. All instructors advise to practice with native speakers. How on earth can I find natives to talk with? Shaymat, where do you live, my dear? In Egypt, we have a lot of foreigners everywhere. Back when I used to work in Maadi, I had multiple students who would walk in, and what they would do, there's a very popular street in Maadi called 9th Street, and it's full of cafes and foreigners and of every nationality that you can possibly imagine, right? And what they did would they would just like walk in the street, meet someone, and start up a conversation with them. And this is what I mean by personality. They actually literally have to be courageous enough to go and speak. Right? How can we improve our accuracy also? Accuracy, I would have to say the best way is through reading and through watching things with subtitles. But I prefer reading more. It's a lot richer. It has a lot of more vocabulary and grammatical sentences and complex sentences and structures that will make your language much better. If you have a problem with speaking, Usama, you need to increase your listening and you need to increase the amount you're speaking as well. And what I usually recommend is if you cannot afford a speaking course, then you speak with your friends. You sit down, you guys agree that you're going to speak for some time, you're going to have a book club, you're going to have a movie club, a cinema club, something where you are providing an area for you to be able to speak a lot. The more you speak, the better your skill will be. Simple as that. Links for videos for shadowing. Yeah, sure. There are a lot of YouTube channels, by the way, that are really nice. You've got YouTube channels called movie clips and series clips, learning English from movies. All of these focus on scenes and they break them down. They're brilliant. They're very, very nice YouTube channels and they're free. Will you mention the resources to be native? Hagar, resources to be native. Okay. So if I saw this as an English speaker, this will cause some confusion. Here I will try to, or what I will understand is that you want to be a citizen, right? You want to be a citizen of a specific country. But I think what you're trying to say is how to improve your language to be of a native level, right? And resources are endless. They are so much. The only piece of advice I can give you is that you need to choose something that you find of relevance to you and of interest to you. So if you're a businessman, look at MBA courses and tutorials and things like that that have to do with your career that you find interesting. If you don't find them interesting, you're not going to go far in them. And we need consistency. I can understand what the person says, but I can't collect my ideas to speak. That comes with practice, Hanan. And that's why you got to make sure that your listening is enough. But you need to be able to speak it as well. I'm unable to recall what I've memorized. So here's the problem with that, Yasmin. Memorizing language is never a good thing. You cannot memorize vocabulary and expect to use it. And that's what we're going to talk about right now, actually. Muhga, there's someone called Asma Abdelhadi that needs help with her audio, please. All right. So firstly, this is Miss Muhga's number. For those of you guys who are interested to find out more about the conversation course before I get into the details, please take a screenshot of this so that you can text Miss Muhga. Take a screenshot and send it to her. She'll be able to provide you with some questions and things like that for me to give you an assessment. All right? This is Miss Muhga. Take a screenshot. She will also provide it in the chat as well. Now, here are some tips because I've seen a lot of this question being repeated, the fluency part. Number one, avoid translating. If you're my kids, you guys know already that translating is going to affect your fluency so much. Meaning, if you think in Arabic and then you translate it, it's going to make a lot of problems. First, it's going to take a lot of your time, and it's going to affect the message that you're trying to give. So what we do instead is we focus on the message we want to give instead of the words in Arabic. So, for example, if there is a situation like the coffee situation, you're going to think of coffee and you're going to think of how it tastes and how it feels and how it smells. And tea with milk, for example, and Muhammad Sayyid. And the only problem is that when you're talking about it and when you're thinking about it, you start going to Arabic, ahwa, murro, whatever. So don't go there, and instead try to think about the coffee itself. Go back to thinking about coffee and be like, oh, it's a small cup, it's a big cup, it tastes good, it tastes bad. These basic descriptions will lead to bigger descriptions later. But as a start, they're always great, and it's better to start small than try to find an actual exact word in Arabic. Got it? Hey, Asom, you are incredible. Thank you so much for coming. I actually read sometimes and make shadowing. Okay, So Farida, we don't say we make shadowing, right? So I actually read sometimes and I shadow. Okay, so shadowing is already a verb. We don't need to make. But when it comes to speaking, I forget the most of I listen first. So how could I get the best benefit of reading is shadow speaking? Okay, so shadowing is for speaking. Reading is for vocabulary and grammar. From what I see here is that you need to stop watching things with subtitles. This is number one. When you're watching something and you're shadowing, do not use subtitles. At the beginning, at least. Why? Because when you see the subtitles, you will try to use your own way of saying the word in the sentence instead of using their way. Make sense? So I know that it's pronounced screen, screen. Okay, this is how I know it. It's called screen. So when I see the word screen, I'm going to say screen. I will not say screen. Screen, right? I will not say it like that. So if I hear it and I say it the way I hear it, even if it sounds weird, but I said it the same way I heard it, this is how I start developing the pronunciation. How do I think in English, Hanan? You stop subtitles and you watch something that you're interested in. A lot. Simple as that. At first, it's hard. At first, you're not going to catch vocabulary, but you're not going to watch for vocabulary. We are watching for message and thinking in English as a skill. So that's how. You want to know how? That's how. Is it scary? Yes. Is it hard? Yes. Is it very effective? Yes. But if you apply it. Taking time to reply to someone, Ayman, is because of lack of practice. This takes time when you're trying to speak. Shadow speaking, Sharif, means when you're shadowing a situation or when you're shadowing a scene from a movie or a series. This means that you are copying them. So you hear Aya saying, please make sure you have your books. You heard Aya say, everybody make sure you have your books. Everybody make sure you have your books. You have to say it the same way Aya is saying it. You put pause and you say it. Everybody make sure you have your books. What you're copying is what you hear, but you are not trying to use the words you already have. Everybody, no, everybody, 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 please make sure you have your books. You gotta say it the same way. This is called shadowing. Anas and Sharif, got it? How to be enough qualified to be, okay, how to be enough qualified. How to be qualified enough to be a pro English for adults. At the same time, how can I work abroad and market for myself? So, first of all, language has many aspects to it, and depending on the area that you're going to be working for. So, there's something called corporate adults, which means that you're working for a specific industry. And in this case, the more you strengthen yourself linguistically in that industry, the better you will be able to help these people out. Marketing for yourself, you got to make sure that you are confident and you're very well versed. So, if you haven't already researched the teaching techniques and the methodologies behind teaching, what I suggest you do is make sure you take these courses, but in English. They are going to be two birds with one stone. You're going to be watching something in English and focusing on the message. Please do not translate anything of what they're saying. And number two, you will be working on how you teach in a class. And this is going to be the best way to ensure you are a professional teacher. Because knowing the language is not enough. Being the teacher is not enough. You got to have both, right? Nice. All right, next, or number two, improve self-confidence in speaking English. Now, I told you guys this at the very beginning of the course, so I'll say it again. There's no such thing as wake up in the morning and decide to be confident. It's not easy, I know. However, if you fake it for some time, it should become easier with time. So right now, I'm worried about my pronunciation. Stop thinking about your pronunciation and speak. Or I'm worried about making a mistake. Stop thinking about the word making a mistake and speak. Any excuse you have to not be confident, stop thinking about it and start speaking. When you speak, automatically, everything that you heard is going to be applied in your speaking and you will start correcting yourself. But if I only listen and I don't speak because I'm worried about mistakes, I will not produce anything, then you're never going to go past point one. Simple as that. Next, learn the basic building blocks of English. This is a given. This is for very beginner students. But if you don't already have information about nouns or verbs and adjectives and how they work, then probably that should be a priority. Why? So that you are able to make your sentences on your own. A, how can I work at international schools with no oh, all right, Aya, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but international schools usually are very picky. Not just language wise, but the best way you can think about it is think of it from the parent's point of view and from the administrator's point of view. I'm looking for a very good teacher that is not just talented, but also someone I can work with, I can train, that is smart, that has experience, that will not give me a hard time, right? So I want a teacher that is able to understand what I'm saying, apply what I'm saying easily in a short period of time so that my customers do not complain, right? So when they look for experience certificates, they are not just looking for like titles, right? They're looking for essence. They're looking for substance. They're looking for things that they know is safe so that their business doesn't go abrupt, right? So working for an international school with no experience, either the salary is going to be really bad. I'm not going to lie to you. Or your language and your energy has to be so good that they know that they are okay to take this risk and have you for the job or hire you for the job. That's how. The point here is not the pronunciation. The problem, I forget the words when I speak like I actually know, sort of course you do. Looking for them. Farida, yes. So the pronunciation is not the point. Sure, I agree. But I was talking about the accuracy, my dear. So thinking about whatever it is that you want to say in Arabic will affect your sentences and will have grammatical mistakes and vocabulary mistakes even sometimes as well. So when you're looking for them, what you need to do is make sure that you understand these words and that when you are trying to speak or say what you want to say, you say it as it comes. So whatever comes to your mind, you say it. At the very beginning, doing this will have a lot of mistakes, but it will help it will help decrease the time it takes you to use the vocabulary. But if every time you look for a word, specific word in Arabic, you're going to need that amount of time every time because it takes that much effort. It's only logical. And this is why number 4 is do not learn vocabulary lists. For people who ask me, how do I increase my vocabulary? Please do not do this. Having a long list of vocabulary that you should memorize is never a good thing. It's not good for your fluency at all. All right? When you do this, you're going to spend more time looking for vocabulary, more effort, and chances are you're not going to remember a lot of them. Listening to someone speaking English fluently. Someone mentioned that speaking to a native speaker helps. It does a lot. And sometimes this is not an option, which is why one of the main things about my course is that you need to watch a series or a movie because listening to me alone is not going to be enough. It's going to be great. It's going to help, but it's not going to be enough. So make sure you're listening and you're including some very good quality English in your day, and this will help you produce it the same quality later on. A lot of people tell me I don't have time and I listen to songs. Stop listening to songs and start listening to radio interviews, radio podcasts, and if audio, I mean, is the option. If you don't have time to sit down and watch a series, that's fine. But don't listen to a song and then tell me that my what is it called? My fluency is good. No, it's not your fluency. Right? Ghada, we increase our vocabulary through reading. Marwa, why do they always tell us you have to think in Arabic then oh no, Marwa, they lied to you. It's not true. Thinking in Arabic first and then translating is the worst thing that you can do for a language learner because it's going to confuse them, it's going to affect their fluency, and it's going to affect their confidence. If I always need Arabic when I am learning English, when I speak only English, it's going to be very difficult for me to keep up. Got it? The best way to study for IELTS, my dear, IELTS is a business and it is a very, very structured, very limited, very closed community. So the best way to study IELTS is through preparation courses and applying the studying techniques that they tell you, so that you can have it. Taking IELTS on your own is never a good idea, even for native speakers, because it's more than just your language. Number 7, be an active listener. An active listener means that I am listening to the message that is being said. I am not looking for the vocabulary while I'm listening. When I'm listening to someone speak, when I'm watching something, please do not try, when I'm watching, do not try to catch the vocabulary. What you're doing is you're removing the context from the vocabulary, and this is really bad. What we want is for you to have the vocabulary in context, and through listening, what we're working on is speaking. So when I'm watching and I'm listening, when I speak, it's a lot more natural. Nice. Let's move on, shall we? I'm really sorry about that. Have interactions with people who speak English, emerging ideas. Gheda, that's a brilliant way to put it, my dear. You're not Gheda Ismail, are you? Marwa Najjar, because of what I went frozen when I want to say something. I don't understand, Marwa. Explain, my dear. Basma, can anybody prepare for IELTS and CELTA together? Ooh, depends on your band, Basma. If you are a C1 or if you are a, I don't even think B2. If you're looking for a high band, like there's an American expression, there's an American idiom that says, jack of many tricks, master of none, which means that you can say a lot of things or you can do a lot of things, but you will not master or you will not be 100% at one thing. So CELTA is a teaching certificate, and it's wonderful for teachers who don't have experience. It's absolutely incredible. So I would say if you are looking to be a teacher more than anything, taking the CELTA would be a great step, and then you can take the IELTS. If language is not a problem for you. If language is a problem, then I suggest working on your language first. And even working on your language first and then taking the IELTS, actually. So my recommendation, Besma, would be CELTA, then IELTS, not together. How much time does anybody need to be fluent? Isa depends on where your level is now, my friend. Ghada Guma, nice to meet you. You remind me a little bit of one of my favorite students. Her name was Ghada Ismail, Dr. Ghada Ismail. She was an incredible. Next, number 8 for our fluency tips. Speak more fluently using 3-part sentences. So try to make sure that your sentences have 3 parts to them. Don't just give me one answer when you're one word answers when you're speaking to me. Slowly, these 3 parts will help you become more comfortable with expressing yourself, and then you can make it longer, you can make it shorter, you can change them around, and so on. Make schwa your friend for clear pronunciation. Having your mouth open is something that is very unfamiliar to a lot of people. And so schwa, the reason why step 9 has the word schwa is because you cannot open your mouth too much in the schwa. And it cannot be closed either. It's got to be just right in the middle. And this is where we talked about pronunciation being it. This is one of the basic steps of it, right? Number 10, don't use a bilingual dictionary. Remember when we said do not think in Arabic or do not have a vocabulary list in Arabic? This is an additional step. Don't use a bilingual dictionary because then you're still having to tie the Arabic and English together. And this is going to affect your fluency. You're going to take more time to produce language. You don't want that. Recycle exercises basically means that when you have time from time to time, take a look at what you have studied before and just go through them. Usually it's a nice reminder, and also the older you get, the more impactful these things are for you. Last but not least, and this is the most important one for me, don't try to be perfect. If perfection is my goal, if I want to be perfect, right? If I want to be perfect, I will not produce the language. So make sure that you are not looking for a go home, go big or go home deal. Whatever it is that you're trying to produce, go ahead and do it. And no matter what the size is, one step at a time. Speaking is the first step to improve your speaking, unfortunately, no matter how hard that is, actually. I'm a science teacher and I need to improve my pronunciation. I'm B1. What is the best course for me? It's speaking or phonics workshop. Pronunciation, and you're a B1. I would say, I mean, phonetics, if you're but you're a science teacher, not an English teacher. A pronunciation course would not be a bad idea, but IELTS for sure is not going to improve your pronunciation. Like IELTS is about speaking techniques because you only have a very limited amount of time with the speaking examiner to get the band that you want. They're not going to like spend all day with you. They're looking for specific keywords and how you say them, and that's it. Do you think it's better to study and be ready enough before taking a paid course? No amount of studying at home will prepare you for an IELTS course, my dear, unfortunately. IELTS in particular, IELTS preparation courses in particular, are made to be short, to the point, and to be very effective. And so this comes from experience. Studying on your own is great, but do that after the IELTS course, not before. So give yourself some leg room after the IELTS course if you want additional practice. Or even better, while you're taking the IELTS preparation course, study at home. Apply the things that you learned. It shouldn't be one or the other. What do you think how I could work on my language if I'm intermediate? Like what are the effects to follow daily, for instance? Increase your input as much as possible, Faida. We live in an Arabic country. So the more you are able to listen to English, the more you can guarantee that the production of English that you have, it will be good. So the more listening you have on a daily basis, this is what I do, by the way, to maintain my language. I make sure that I have English on every aspect. Every day I am listening to English, I am reading in English, and I am speaking in English. Every day, right? And just so we're clear, to be completely fair, I've been very busy. And so I feel like I need to work on my vocabulary as well. Alhamdulillah, I have great vocabulary, but I do want more. And in order to do so, I need to start reading. So prioritize the time to see results. It's basic as that. You want some results, you got to provide time. You got to include input. Simple mathematical equation. All right. I think I've covered most of the questions, I hope. Hanan, I don't know what you mean by IELTS. You just like wrote IELTS in capital letters. I don't know where the question is, but sure. That is it for the day, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Muhga, the incredible Miss Muhga, has left her number on the chat in Zoom. Go ahead and contact her if you haven't already. And she'd be able to help you guys out, inshallah, with all the details regarding the course. And what about phonetics courses? So Aya, this is something that I'm on the fence about regarding phonetics courses. Academic phonetic courses means that they're teaching you all of the phonetic symbols that you need to know regarding how to read words, which is not bad. But I feel like it's not a priority for someone who is not teaching English. So unless you are a teacher of the English language, I would say learn pronunciation through practice more effectively and more better for you than actually having a phonetics course and learning the phonemic symbols. If you are an English teacher, Aya, then definitely yes, 100%. Take it. Go for it. Marwa, refining your accent, shadowing, my dear. You came late. Make sure you ask Miss Muhga for the recorded session and you will be able to see all of the details that I just talked about today, inshallah. Ghaida, thank you so much for coming, my dear. Everybody, you guys were awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your weekend. Happy to see you as always. Good luck with your IELTS. Let me know how it goes. Everybody be safe. I will see you soon, inshallah. Bye. Make sure you guys contact Miss Muhga on the chat. It's like she sent it, and I will also share her number here as well. Whoops. It was my pleasure, my dears. Take a screenshot if you need it. That's Miss Muhga's number and contact her. Hanan, Yusra, you guys are incredible. Thank you so much. I think, oh, there we go. Thank you, thank you. Make sure you guys text Miss Muhga. Bye-bye. You're very welcome, Miss Mispa.